Hey everybody, I posted a video about the Kenton County Family Court stuff earlier today. It was obviously different in kind and quite expressive. I used colorful language and metaphors, and I think quite plainly it was an example of political speech from me as a private citizen, which I have a right to, to speak. I want to be clear that no one should fear anything from me, and that the only thing that was threatened in the video was that I would redouble my efforts to expose the corruption and the inappropriate behavior down there. I think that I've demonstrated through the prior videos that it has taken quite an investment of time and money to collect the data to evidence the impropriety. I'd rather not, expend it, but if necessary, I will. I believe the video speaks for itself. I don't think there's any reasonable claim that anybody could fear physical, it would be threatened in any inappropriate way. But I want to be clear that the only consequence that anyone should fear from me is that I will, redouble my efforts to expose and evidence unlawful behavior. And I don't think that that's an inappropriate threat. I think that's clearly what I meant. It's not personal. Obviously, the video is more harsh in tone and in expression than these types of videos and every other video I've made. It was that way on purpose. The emails attached to it speak for themselves, and I find them absolutely repugnant to the rule of law, and a perfect illustration of a small example, but an example of the kind of inappropriate backroom kind of justice that, in that particular instance, would have resulted in, a private attorney getting relief that she was not entitled to, and we know she wasn't entitled to, because when the judge did find out and rule on the law, that relief was denied. But for light being shown on that situation, but for objection being made, by us, that's the kind of thing that would have resulted in special justice for special lawyers, which means special justice for special people. And we think that's against the Constitution, against the law, and it plainly is. And it speaks for itself, but the video earlier today was also not coincidental in terms of timing. There was a hearing in my cases this afternoon, and as you can imagine, I think it's important to give people the opportunity to show where they stand on the issues and that kind of thing. And I'm disappointed to report that at the hearing, which is the most inappropriate hearing that I've ever been a part of as a lawyer in my entire life, that I find that it's simply indefensible from a legal perspective. It's on record. It speaks for itself. Much to my chagrin, but not to my surprise, the relevant actors involved, I think, through their reaction to my video, evidence quite clearly where they stand on the issues. I was, regarding ad litem case, literally moved the court that I not have parenting time with my children at all, in open retaliation for the contents of that video. I'm beside myself that a parent exercising a political right to speak out and to stand up and to be a good parent. I consider that video an example of being a good parent, standing up for what's right. That's what I want to show my kids. Beyond that, the court, it was as inappropriate hearing as you'll ever see. Most curious of all is that of all these folks, of all of the bombast at that hearing, and I would, that hearing is not surprising, but it is sad. I think decisive proof of a lot of things that we've been saying. I should not be threatened with my kids being taken away from me for speaking out. Now, the guardian ad litem, who just yesterday received a report about some things that made clear that what's happened should not have happened, didn't mention that to the court, instead moved for the court to take away my kids. That just happened. If you don't believe me, just watch the video. The court referred the matter to the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office, based upon what it found to be, I guess, my inappropriate expression or targeting of individuals who are the same individuals that are on the email. I don't think there's anything unlawful about speaking out and up and against corrupt behavior on the part of private actors taking advantage of corrupt judicial actors and identifying that behavior. I think that's a good thing to do, not a bad thing to do. So I definitely, made the video, and if it's unlawful, then I should have the consequences. But I don't think that pointing out public corruption is a negative thing. And I think more than anything today, the most disappointing thing of all, what I wanted to see was if anyone would actually care about the emails, about the fact of what had gone down. And it is unbelievable to me. It is believable, but it's very sad that while there was much consternation about me getting on Facebook and talking about what had happened and the manner by which I had talked about that, very clearly not a single human being wanted to talk about what I was talking about, if you know what I mean. My mental health was brought up as if I were crazy for being a citizen that speaks up and out against these things. And a judicial court-appointed actor whose conduct I have absolutely taken exception to, moved the court in a court of law for my children to be taken away from me. I would highly suggest people obtain that video. I don't think you have to be a lawyer to understand how wildly off the rails inappropriate it is. But I wanted to clarify the purpose of that video. I wouldn't say that these are experiments of sorts in exposing corruption, but they are an opportunity. They are decisions based intentionally intended to give people an opportunity to show me that they care more about the corrupt activity, which is plain, and less about how I talk about that. And a lot of people answered a lot of questions today. Thanks.